Good morning, students of class 9th. In the previous video, we have discussed about the background of the Indian Constitution, and in today's video, we are going to study about the situations, the conditions or the scenario that was faced by the Indian Constituent Assembly. Okay, so the situation faced by the Indian Constituent Assembly, right? So let us discuss that. What were the situations that were faced by the Indian Constituent Assembly? See, India was in those days a nation under control of the British regime. It was at the verge of gaining independence, right? Because in the previous video we have already discussed that the framing of constitution started in India long before the independence was declared. 2 years before the independence was declared, the independence was declared in 1947, but the Constituent Assembly was formed in 1945 itself, right? So long before the independence was declared, the Constituent Assembly was already formed. Those who were erstwhile subjects of British laws were now becoming citizens of an independent nation. The population was facing the situation of division of the country on ethnic lines and geographical boundaries. As you know that with independence, the India was divided into two countries of India and Pakistan, and when this happened, the Constituent Assembly was formed, and the Constituent Assembly was facing a large problem, a big problem, right? The partition, which led to a large number of dislocation as well as loss of life and property of thousands of people, had disturbed the social fabric, right? Because there was a partition which was being done between the India and Pakistan. We all know that on independence of India only, the India was divided into India and Pakistan. Okay, so the traumatic partition led to the mistrust and the social fabric, the harmony within the nation, the harmony between the religious groups, basically Hindu and Muslims, was disfabricated, right? Because there was a large scale slaughtering of the people because of riots there, right? And there was a large number of deaths, there was a large number of destruction to the property of the people. Okay, these elections had helped, people started to live in mistrust, social, religious and political boundaries were being changed. The many princely states which were left to choose between the two major partitions of India and Pakistan or continue to be independent left the people uncertain about their future. Because in the previous video we have already discussed about the princely states, that before the independence of India the country was divided into different princely states, means there was king rule in different areas. There was no such state like the present day, like there is India, there is Uttar Pradesh, there is Bihar, there is Chhattisgarh, there is West Bengal. Earlier there were different states, princely states, and those princely states used to be run by their kings, the Nawabs, or you can say the kings, right? Whether they were the Nawab of Rampur, the Nizam of Hyderabad, or other people were there who were running the governments, right? So the many princely states which were left to choose between the two major partitions of India, they were also in confusion that which side they should go. The economic situation was very bleak. The industrial, agricultural and infrastructural development was in a dismal state. Creating a situation to incorporate a set of rules for governance in such a circumstance was a huge challenge, right? Because at that time there was a huge challenge that the states were to be divided, and the states also had a choice that whether they want to continue with India or they want to enter into a contract with Pakistan, or they want to be a separate state, an independent state, right. So there were many challenges. The industrial, agricultural and infrastructural development was also not very good at that time. Creating a constitution to incorporate a set of rules for governance in such a circumstances was a huge challenge. Now we have understood that what were the situations at the time of framing of the constitution. Now we are going to discuss about the Constituent Assembly of India, that how was the Indian Constituent Assembly, right, how it was formed and who were the people in the Indian Constituent Assembly, right. Indian Constituent Assembly. Let us discuss about the Indian Constituent Assembly. The Commission announced the establishment of the election for the Constituent Assembly, which was held on July 1946. In July 1946, the Constituent Assembly was established. The Constituent Assembly members were elected indirectly by the members of the newly elected provincial assemblies. Means the members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by the members of the provincial assemblies, right, because during the British rule also there were some areas in which voting used to held, and those areas were known as the provinces and the assembly was known as the provincial assembly. So the members who were elected as the members of the provincial assembly then voted and elected the members of the new Constituent Assembly or the Constituent Assembly, and initially included representatives for those provinces which later came under the territories of Pakistan. The Constituent Assembly had 299 representatives, including 9 women, right. There were total number of members were 299, and out of these 9 were women and remaining 290 they were the males, right. Total there were 299 members, out of which 9 were women and 290 were males. An interim government of India was formed on 2nd of September 1946 for the newly elected Constituent Assembly, and a new interim government was elected for the time being. The Congress held a large Constituent Assembly, had a large majority in the assembly with 69% of all the seats. Means there were 290 members and 299 members, and approx 69% of the members of the Constituent Assembly were with Congress, were of the Congress party, right. 69 members were of the Congress party. ठीक है. Of all the seats, while the Muslim League held almost all the seats reserved in the assembly for Muslims, and the members who were elected as the members by Muslim League were all the seats that were reserved for the Muslim candidates. There were also some members for smaller parties such as the Scheduled Caste Federation, the Communist Party of India and the Unionist Party. While the Congress was the dominant party, but the Congress itself consisted of people from nearly all political, religious as well as social background, right, because the Congress was also a political party and the Congress was the largest representative in that Constituent Assembly. We have already discussed that, and though there were some members of the Muslim Leagues, there were some members of the Communist Party of India, there were other members for the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes. The people in Congress had a mixed representation, means that there were Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, the people of all the castes, all the tribes who were belonging, and they were in Congress itself. Means Congress was having a diverse number of people, right, a diversity within itself. The first meeting of the Constituent Assembly took place in December 1946. In 1946, the assembly was formed. In July 1946, it was formed, it was constituted, and the first meeting of the Constituent Assembly held at December 1946. It was constituted in July 1946 and the meeting was held at December 1946. The meeting that was there to frame the Constitution of India held there, right, in December 1946. Although there were difference between the views of different members, but that is bound to happen in any establishment because there was diversity in India and there were different views of the people, right. Dr. Sachinand Sinha was elected as the temporary president of the assembly. It is very important point that who was the president of the Constituent Assembly. The temporary president was first of all Dr. Sachinand Sinha. He was the temporary chairman or the temporary president of the Constituent Assembly. Later on, the Constituent Assembly president was made Mr. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who was also the first president of our country, right. He was a permanent president for Assembly. Dr. Sachinand Sinha was a temporary, but earlier the first, if it is asked the first chairman, if the first president, it was Dr. Sachinand Sinha, and if it is asked the president or the permanent president, then it was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay. So students, we have discussed this about the Constituent Assembly of India. We will discuss more about it in the next video. Till then, stay at your homes and stay safe. Thank you. We will meet in the next video on Tuesday. Thank you.